Good morning, Sailor Barry here. Join me as we go through what's good on YouTube. Alright, let's see what we got here today. Okay, boobs. Okay, let's try again. Boobs. Sometimes it feels like YouTube's been bought out by Pornhub. Don't love it. That's why we have porn sites. Kids are on YouTube. Families watch it. I mean, YouTube's a really inspiring place if you know where to look. And that's the best part about YouTube. It's just people sharing and inspiring each other. It's not really inspiring anything other than I mean, this is nothing new. Sex sells, obviously. But if you're like me and my friends and you're being drawn towards more creative content, then this is for you. There are still a bunch of good content creators out there, and I've tracked them all down for you guys, so here we go. Some of these shows are sailing related, and some of them are just awful, artful. Some of these shows are artful and beautiful to watch. I just really want you guys to enjoy the better side of YouTube. Also, this episode's sponsored by Gotrax. Up first, we got a boat in the woods. So let me introduce you all to Josh. He is probably the newest guy on the scene here. Ugh, it's so good. Just so creative. I love this. He's doing his episodes in a really creative way. He's doing them as letters. Every single episode is a letter. He's on letter 3 right now. Genius. It's not your typical vloggy content, right? It's got hints of it. We're all vlogging, really. But he's avoiding all of the pitfalls of vlogging, the walking around with the camera and the explaining what he's up to instead of showing what he's up to.
12 years and a few too many hours mindlessly scrolling through Marketplace later, and here we are. I have a gem of a boat, neglected but not beyond repair, with thousands of miles under her keel, and hopefully thousands more to come. Like I mentioned earlier, I was browsing through Marketplace looking for patio furniture or something, and ended up with a 58-year-old 20,000-pound wooden boat. Probably my favorite impulse buy I've ever made.
He's got about 3 episodes out and about 30,000 subscribers already. He's doubled our subscriber count in a month and a half. He's onto something. Enough of that. Who's up next? There we go. Up next, we got Sailing Magic Carpet. Okay, Maya and Aladino, they require absolutely no introduction, but I'm going to anyway. Independently, these two were set on a path towards sailing, which set them on a path towards each other. And now they're on an amazing journey together, sailing around the world. And they do an excellent job documenting it for everyone to watch. Maya has a way with her words and with her camera. The best compliment I can pay Maya and Aladino is that their channel feels like what sailing feels like. All right, next up we have the Iron Snail.
This lining is 50% wool, 50% alpaca. So riddle me this: why does the world's largest and most powerful navy during the world's largest and deadliest war switch to this little guy from their woolen fortress of a coat that we all know and love, the peacoat? What was the U.S. Navy outfitting their Navy personnel in the wettest, wildest, coldest, craziest conditions out there? I'm curious. The true question is, how good was the N-1 deck jacket? One of the jobs, obviously, was to protect you and keep the wind out and stuff like that, but the other job was to make sure that you don't get trapped inside of your jacket if you were getting covered with freezing salt water all day. This is a rudimentary thermal testing system I made so we can check just how warm this museum-grade...
I like this show for obvious reasons. He likes what I like. So that's Michael. He's been doing YouTube since he was a teenager, I believe. As a result of having done YouTube for so long, he's killing it on every front with YouTube. I would say he's probably the best editor and storyteller I've come across on YouTube. He regularly has Haley and I both just busting a gut laughing. Not like just a little chuckle, ha 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 ha, but like a proper laugh. Michael also has his own clothing line. It's called Michael Makes Clothing. Wait, it's called the Iron Snail. It's the Iron Snail. All right, up next we got Huckberry. That's the name of the channel, but more specifically, they have a show on this channel called Dirt.
I've seen carp eat trash or like eat old socks or eat whatever. So sometimes I tie flies, and the shittier they look, the better they work.
What a world we live in.
Here I am as a kid. Now I'm a washed-up pro snowboarder, dad, and curious food nerd, hell-bent on new adventures. I'm Josh Rosen. Food and adventure have led me to some of the most interesting places.
So do bear in mind that this is not your usual YouTube content. This is clearly a $50,000 plus production. There's a lot of film crew, sound crew, exotic locations, a lot of flying and traveling to places. The bar is very high. I really like it. I like productions like this a lot. But the bar is kind of too high for me to consider this something that directly inspires me, because I'm literally filming with an iPhone. I guarantee they have camera gear on this that's worth more than my house. So like the Iron Snail, this show is actually produced by a clothing company. And I have a soft spot for this show because I also was in a travel show about food. There were no retired snowboarders unless me retiring from the idea of ever doing snowboarding counts, in which case, yes, it's the exact same show. And the show I was on was also produced by a clothing company. So I'm not saying we inspired Dirt. I guess I'm asking, did we? In my heart, we did. You're welcome. Okay, enough dirt. What's up next? Farmer, Sailor, Chef. God, more ads! Okay, while this ad plays, this is Farmer, Sailor, Chef. This is the show I was talking about. This is the one that I was in, produced by a clothing company. The clothing company was Ecologyst clothing. You see me I'm wearing their shirt right now, and I'm wearing their vest all the time. I love Ecologyst clothing. We teamed up with a 5-star chef, and we traveled around to really cool Gulf Island locations and met up with amazing farmers and made amazing food. Kind of feels like the lost episode of Dirt. Just gonna skip ahead to the part where I'm in it.
Providence has a very long history. She was built 120 years ago, actually the oldest boat in BC. She was built as a workboat. She was built to haul fish in the North Sea. So
About 20 feet behind, 15, 20.
they get a lot of respect from the fishermen because they know that she's been fishing longer than any of us have been alive.
Okay, bring up the fenders, put away the lines, we're away.
She's 65 feet on deck. She has 2 masts. She is a catch. Barry is the first mate aboard the Providence. He's a pretty lovable character. He just loves old things, and Providence is the oldest boat around.
Hey, Barry.
So Farmer Sailor Chef only has 1 episode. There's a lot of other really good content on the Ecologyst YouTube page. They have a lot of really cool concert footage, independent little one-on-one music sessions and stuff. I really like watching those. But yeah, this was their biggest production, and we had an amazing time. So our goal with this show was to get picked up by a network. It never happened. And I think, looking back, I can probably see why. I mean, it is just 3 white dudes on a boat, so valid. The food was incredible, the sailing was great, and I got to spend so much time with Kyle, and he's an incredible chef, honestly, 5-star chef, amazing. He has a catering company we're checking out, and I got to sail around with my good friend Simon Fox, who is my sailing mentor, and the guy who really opened up the doors for me in the sailing world and took me under his wing, and I couldn't be more grateful to the almost decade I spent sailing around with Simon. Yeah, I cherish every second of this. So if you want to see me having a good time with some amazing people, amazing farmers, amazing cooks, you name it, check this out. You're gonna enjoy it for sure. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Spoiler alert, I did see you there. I put the camera there myself. I even hit record. This episode is brought to you by Gotrax. Gotrax sent us out a scooter. This is the Gotrax Gx2. It has a 55 kilometer, has a 55 kilometer range. It can take up to 330 pounds. The motors are 1600 watts. That's crazy. And it says it has a top speed of 46 kilometers an hour. I've been going 60 kilometers an hour on it. It's incredible. Let's dive into it. This thing's a beast. I've taken it halfway around Gabriola Island with great success. I passed cars while I was doing it, and I rode on the side of the road to let cars pass me. I think the reason I was able to go off-road on this thing and have it not affect me was because of these big, old, gushy, soft suspension. Because of the suspension. I wonder if you can bunny hop this thing. Got it. Yeah, as you can see, big old, huge, soft, gushy, enormous suspension and tires. Oh yeah. I don't mean to start off with a con, but it has like a code you have to put in every time, and it's not very clear how to do it, and it's not very clear what the code is, and it kind of just sucks every time you fire it up. But it is a safety feature. It means it's less prone to being stolen. And that brings me to con number 2. When you stop, it goes into parking mode, which means you can't just jump on and ride around. You gotta you gotta press a series of random buttons, and then it goes into driving mode. Woo! So right away, one of the first things you notice is that this thing has a ton of power. And the reason they're able to do that is that the front one, I believe, is high torque, so burnouts. And the aft one is low torque for sustaining high speeds. And that's why with the two in conjunction with each other, you're able to go so fast and so far. It's a lot more efficient of a design. So dual motor is the way to go. Disc brake, front and rear. I'm not 100% certain if it has electronic recharging on the braking. I will add that right here if it does. And if it doesn't, I'll just be waving my hand like an idiot. I filmed a bunch of stuff on riding around on this, and it's all on my GoPro, and I lent my GoPro to Simon so he could go to Japan and film. So I don't have that footage. So I'm gonna make some fun footage here in the yard. See, parking mode. I think plus. Now I'm good to go. I just went up a cement ledge. Didn't even bother me. It's because of the big old soft, huge tracts of land. I'm trying to say suspension. Like I said, the GX2 is terrifyingly powerful. That's a big uphill. Doesn't even slow down. I'm trying to see if there's something I can do a jump off of. I don't have a helmet, and I don't want to do burnouts here. This is my friend's driveway. It'd be rude. Let's talk about build quality for a second here. This is plastic, but underneath it is just some welded steel, so who cares? This is all steel. Everything's incredibly robust, really sturdy. Big foot pad to stand on back here. Swing arms front and rear. Battery capacity is intense. I've reviewed another scooter in the past, and this is hands down the best scooter I have ever seen with my own two eyes. This thing's incredible. Right out of the package, the brakes work good, everything works perfect. I've had zero problems with this thing. I love it. I think the biggest con for Haley and I with this thing is simply its size. It's kind of at the point where it's hard to get in and out of the companionway hatch. So this doesn't go on adventures with us. Plus, I know boat insurance companies don't like when you have electric scooters on your sailboat because they've been known to catch fire, and there's fear around that right now. Whether or not that's entirely valid or not, I think the biggest pro with this thing is that sometimes Haley takes her car to work, and that leaves me stranded on Gabriola with no wheels, and we don't live on the boat right now. So I've used this on occasion to rip across Gabriola Island and get over to our boat to continue working on it. So it's kind of like having a backup car. It's just, it's winter right now, so I'm not using it as much as I normally would. All in all, 10 out of 10. I think in the future they might get these things a little bit smaller while packing the same punch. That's not to say they're bad in this form factor. I'm just looking forward to when they are a little smaller so that we can have all this power for when we go to remote islands while still being able to easily maneuver it around inside our boat. So all in all, I got nothing bad to say. Thank you so much to Gotrax for sending this out, and if you're interested, there's links in the description. You can go find all the information you need on it, and I hope this was informative, and I hope this helped you discover the scooter of your dreams. All right, back to YouTube. Next up, we got Conrad Humphreys.
I'm Conrad Humphreys, and as a professional sailor, I've tackled some pretty horrendous seas, but now I'm exploring quieter waters. I've sailed and raced all over the world, but there's really no place like home. I'll be travelling along the south coast of Devon in my beautiful lugger, Bounty's End. This is a very, very heavy boat to row on your own.
So I don't really know what the story is with this channel. I can't figure out why it's so good, and also why it's so low in subscriber count. I can't figure this out. This literally feels like a BBC documentary of some kind, and he has many episodes, and he's just traveling through the old British waterways, which are some of the most historic waterways in the world. There's literally the story of industrialization and ancient combat is just littered all over this place. It's incredible to see, and it's incredible to see such a skilled sailor do something so benign and calm and peaceful. This guy's a professional sailor. He's sailed in the Vendée Globe. He is the real deal, and his channel is charming and sweet and delightful. I genuinely wish there was an endless amount of episodes. All right, who's up next? Daniel Ernst. I know I have a tendency to really hype people up, but do bear with me. I do think genuinely that this episode in particular of Daniel's episodes is probably the single best video with sailing in it I have ever seen.
Back in last August, we embarked on a sailing expedition to explore the untouched beauty of East Greenland. And this week turned out to be one of the best experiences in my life.
I get jealous when I watch this show. Their camera gear is top notch and their artistic eye is even better. Also, they chartered Opal. How cool is that? I am in love with that boat. And they just go do some high latitude sailing, and it's mostly like a photo journal and a videography delight. It's calm, it's peaceful, it's respectful. It is the future of sailing videos I want to see. Sailing in life is not about that TNA bullshit that you see on half of the YouTube sailing channels. It's a calm, slow, introspective, peaceful experience, and there's very few channels really taking the time to highlight that sensation. Like Magic Carpet, the way their show feels like what sailing feels like, this show also encapsulates that flawlessly. If you want to see some of the most wild environments on Earth and some of the best captured footage of it, and all while cruising around on a big, beautiful tall ship, or actually a series of tall ships, this is the show for you. It's staggering, it's slow, it's peaceful, it's calming, it's quiet. I think it's perfect. I think this is the perfect show. I've never seen anything beat this for sailing content. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Again, I think just one of their cameras probably costs more than our boat, so we'll get there eventually. Right? I hope. You know how they say never meet your heroes? Well, meet me instead. I'm going to be at the Vancouver International Boat Show, and Haley's going to be there for a day or two as well. So please come by, say hello. We got the Breaking Waves crew, we've got Peter from Travels with Jordy, we got Finding Simon, we've got Magic Carpet. We're all going to be there, so come swing by, say hello, and hopefully we don't disappoint. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. That's the end of this one, but I could do a couple more episodes like this if you guys wanted. So if you guys liked this, definitely let me know, because I got tons more YouTube channels that are along the same vein, and these are just the ones I got to. This video took way too long to produce. It's currently Friday, and my episode should be up today, and I still haven't filmed the sponsored bit that you saw earlier, so I had to write this one out, film it, edit it, everything. It's a lot of work to do these, so if you guys like it, I'll do another one. Let me know though. And all the information you want about the different YouTube channels are all linked down below in the description, so please go check them out. And thanks for joining me on this. I really appreciate it, and I will see you all next week. Woo. Also, one more thing, I am so sorry about the video quality throughout. I was playing around with some filters and stuff, and it backfired on me, but this is why I'm doing this. It's a learning curve. I'm trying to get better at this stuff. So thanks for bearing with me. Don't call me out too badly for grainy footage, etc., please. All right, as I said before, see you next week. Oh, and thank you to Gotrax for sponsoring this week's episode. Much appreciated. Bye.